All right, guys, get ready to learn about Houston's most popular suburb that offers crazy amenities to its residents with award-winning neighborhoods. Welcome to Cypress, Texas. I am going to take you on a journey through Cypress, Texas, and here is what you will learn today. Number one, we're going to talk about the location and the average commute times of residents that live here in Cypress and why that's a very important factor for you to consider before moving here. The second thing is we are going to explore the interesting history behind this community and how it became the Cypress that we all love and know today. Third, we will discuss what drives the economy of Cypress, the demographics, and all about the housing stats. Fourth, you will learn about some pretty awesome shopping spots around the entire Cypress area. And one of them, where I'm at now, you can actually drive your boat and tie off here on the dock, go eat, and go shopping. Fifth thing we will explore, I will tell you all about the pros and the cons of living here in Cypress, along with the not so sexy side of things. And then finally, I will show you guys the 7 most popular communities here in Cypress with amazing amenities that you most certainly do not want to miss out on. The neighborhoods that I will be showing to you today are great for those in every stage of life, and I think you might be surprised by one of them, so stay tuned to find out which neighborhood is my personal favorite. Let's get started. All right, let's talk about the location of Cypress because it can be a little bit tricky because there are no official boundary lines. Cypress, Texas is located on the northwest side of Harris County in downtown Houston and is entirely located in the extraterritorial jurisdiction, or ETJ, of Houston. There are no official boundary lines because technically it's not its own city, contrary to popular belief, but if you looked on a Google map, this is what you would see for the boundaries. Cypress is surrounded by major freeways of Houston for quick and easy commute times, sort of, a little bit more on that later, but the majority of the freeways are going to be close to include 290, 99 or Grand Parkway, Highway 6, and 249. For those of you that work in the medical field, the Texas Medical Center is roughly a 40-minute drive, and for those of you in the oil and gas or energy sector, the Houston Energy Corridor is about a 26-minute drive, and downtown Houston is about a 34-minute drive. Now, the closest neighboring suburbs that you may or may not know very well are Katy, Texas, which is a 27-minute drive, Tomball, which is a 23-minute drive, and the Klein and Spring area, which is about a 24-minute drive. But let's be real here, those commute times will vary wildly depending on traffic and whether or not Houstonians woke up and chose violence that day.
Everyone's watching to see what you do. Everyone's looking at you.
I don't know, just saying. So if you have to commute for work, leave early and make sure you pack your patience. Now let's talk a little bit about the history of Cypress.
It's got a top and it's got a bottom.
Yeah, and that's the history.
You good?
Cypress has been around for quite some time, but it hasn't always been the bustling suburb that we all know and love of today. This area used to be nothing but pretty much cow pastures and farmland. I mean, no one knew where the heck Cypress was back then. There was nothing here. That all started to change around the 1980s and early 1990s when some developers got together and they were just like, hey, you know what, this is probably a pretty good area to start building some stuff, so let's build some stuff. And fast forward to today, this suburb has really experienced an enormous and explosive growth, attracting families from every single culture imaginable, businesses of all sizes, and even an oil and gas giant like Chevron planning an entire research and development facility here in Cypress.
This place is freaking awesome!
So Cypress, Texas has evolved just pretty much like everything else, and it's still a phenomenal place to be. With all of this explosive growth that Cypress has been experiencing, the economy here has to be booming, right? Well, let's talk about that and what it might look like if you choose to live here in Cypress. The primary economic drivers here are manufacturing, construction, education, energy, and healthcare. Major publishers like Bloomberg and the Daily Beast recognize Cypress as a top place to operate or have a business, which makes sense because big names like Chevron and Cisco operate here in the area as well. Little known fact, actually.
Wow.
Wow. And the population of Cypress is just over 200,000 people, and the average income here is a whopping $138,000. Now, Cypress ranks 50th on the list of a recent list out of 100 as the highest income urban areas in the entire United States. That's pretty remarkable. And when it comes to education, 61% of residents here actually hold a degree, which is pretty nice. Now let's talk about housing, because there are over 66,000 housing units right here in Cypress, and the average price for a home here is gonna set you back around $450,000 with an average price per square foot coming in at $174. And as a making of this video, the average time that a house sits on the open market before going under contract with the buyer is gonna be around 58 days. And the tax rate is definitely worth watching out for, and could be as high in the upper threes, and is going to vary wildly from neighborhood to neighborhood. And I know that might sound confusing for some of these who are not familiar with Texas property tax codes. So we will dive into more on that during our neighborhood tours. Now, Katy, Texas isn't the only suburban town that has decent shopping. Here in Cypress, you have a wide range of options of shopping and fine dining. You can take a stroll through the Houston Premium Outlets. It's located on 290 and 99, or you can visit the boardwalk at Town Lake, or both there if you are a resident. You can also visit various town centers like the Cypress Town Center, Cyfair Town Center, or the Fairfield Town Center. And for a traditional mall type shopping experience, make sure that you check out Willowbrook Mall. All right guys, before you pack your bags or start Googling houses, let me keep it real with you. Living in Cypress isn't all butterflies and rainbows and perfectly brewed sweet tea. Look, no place is perfect, and so today we're gonna be diving into the good, the bad, and yes, the ugly side of life here in Cypress, Texas. So let's start with the cons, because hey, better to rip off the Band-Aid as fast as you can, right? Con number one is gonna be all about the high property taxes. Yep, Uncle Sam's cousin lives here too, and he loves your wallet. High property taxes are everywhere. It's just something for you to be cautious of. Con number two is gonna be all about the traffic, and not just a little traffic. I'm talking about the, I just aged 3 years sitting on Highway 290 kind of traffic. Plus throw in the never ending road construction. Seriously, I think orange cones are just the official state flower at this point. Con number three is gonna be all about too much growth. Now, Cypress is booming, and it's like every time you blink, there's a new subdivision that pops up here, pops up there, a new strip mall, a new Starbucks. Overcrowding? Yeah, it's kind of a thing here. Con number four is gonna be all about the higher cost of living, and it's not quite like LA prices, but it's definitely not your grandma's Texas either. Be ready to open your wallet just a little bit wider. But it's not all doom and gloom here in Cypress either, my friends. Let's flip the script here in just a second. We'll talk about the pros. And pro number one is gonna be all about the Cyfair ISD. Now, the school district here is ranked number 6 in the entire Houston region. That's right, if you've got kids or you plan to have kids, you're set up pretty well here, and I think it's safe to say your kids are gonna get a quality education here in Cypress. Pro number two is gonna be all about the new construction abundance. Like, it's everywhere. If you want granite countertops, open and modern floor plans, you want that new home smell, Cypress certainly has you covered. And pro number three is gonna be all about shopping and dining, from Town Lake, where I'm at right now, to the gorgeous boardwalk, weekend farmers markets popping up like wildflowers all over the place. You'll never go hungry, and you'll never be bored, unless you're indecisive, and then good luck on choosing. And last but certainly not least, parks and outdoor fun. Now, this place here is family friendly to the absolute max. We have playgrounds, we have trails, we have even a private lake in some of these neighborhoods, like Town Lake behind me. Yes, boating and water sports in your backyard in a man-made lake. We'll dive into that here in just a second. Now it's time we transition into our neighborhood tours, and allow me to introduce to you Town Lake. Now, this is a place where your backyard could very well be, well, a lake. And not just any lake, we're talking a private 300-acre lake with 14 miles of shoreline. Yeah, you can actually boat to dinner here. And how's that for Texas luxury, right? Now, this 2,400-acre community is home to around 3,000 homes, and it's basically a resort that you get to call home if you're into, water, good food, and not having to leave your neighborhood for either one of those things. This is the place for you. Now, Town Lake is stacked with amenities. I mean, you've got the boardwalk, which is where we were at earlier. We have shops, restaurants, live music right on the water. Then they have something called the Lake House, which is basically a clubhouse with a gym, event spaces, and even a little beach area, which is really cool. They have a full-blown water park, yes. A lazy river is also included because why not at this point? We also have miles upon miles upon miles of green space and trails, perfect for runs, strolls, or just escaping awkward conversations with your neighbors, let's be real. Now, the homes here on average are pretty steep. They're around $794,000 on average and a tax rate of 2.6%. And the HOA dues are coming in around $2,100 a year. Yeah, it's steep. It's on the pricier side, but you're definitely getting a lifestyle. You're not just buying a house. Plus, it's gonna be zoned to highly rated Cypress ISD schools, including several right here inside the neighborhood. So if you're looking for lake life without giving up city convenience, Town Lake checks every box. All right, now let's talk about one of the absolute crown jewels of Cypress, and we are at none other than Bridgeland. Now, this place isn't just a neighborhood, it's practically a small city with a homeowners association. This place is massive, spread across a whopping 11,500 acres. Bridgeland is a master planned community to fit approximately about 20,000 homes. And no, that's not a typo, that's the real deal, 20,000 homes. You could throw a rock and hit a neighbor for every day for the next 50 years and still never run out of rocks. But Bridgeland isn't just big, it is loaded. We're talking 3,000 acres of parks, trails and open spaces, plus over 900 acres of lakes. So yes, if you've ever dreamed of paddleboarding after work like you're in a GoPro commercial, this is your place to be. Each section of Bridgeland is its own vibe. We have lakeland, parkland, prairie land, creek land, all the lands, and all of with their own activity centers, pools, fitness facilities, and even splash pads. It's like a resort that you never really have to check out of, except for trash day, of course. Now, homes here average around $605,000, so we're a little bit cheaper than we were with Town Lake. Our tax rate, though, is coming in at 3%, and the HOA dues are sitting right around $1,400 a year, give or take, depending on the section that you live in. And yes, you get a lot for your bang for your buck here. And we are in highly rated school districts of Cypress ISD. We have constant community events, and we have enough walking trails to really complete your daily steps on your Apple Watch. Bridgeland isn't just one of the best neighborhoods here in Cypress, it truly is a lifestyle. All right, you guys, now let's talk about Fairfield, one of the OG master plan communities in Cypress that's been keeping it classy since the late 80s. And by classy, I mean packed with amenities, parks, and pools that make you wonder if you actually ever even need a vacation anymore. Now, Fairfield covers 3,200 acres and has around 5,600 homes spread across 8 different little pocket neighborhoods. So yeah, it's kind of a big deal. Think of it like a small town where everybody still waves at each other and the HOA doesn't break your wallet. The average price here in Fairfield is pretty reasonable at $525,000 with an average price per square foot coming in at $170. And the tax rate sits at a very comfortable 2.2%, and the HOA dues are a little bit on the higher side, I would say, coming in at $1,025 a year, which is basically a steal though for what you can get here in this neighborhood. So let's talk about that. What kind of amenities are here? Because Fairfield really isn't playing around. We have the Fairfield Athletic Club. Now this place is a 15,000 square foot of sweat equity with a full gym, indoor basketball court, and tennis courts. We have pools, we have splash pads. We have 6 pools actually and 2 different splash pads, because when it's 102 degrees outside, you'll want options, trust me. It gets stupid hot down here in Houston. So we also have parks and trails, miles and miles of scenic biking and hiking trails, multiple lakes like you can see one behind me. Then we have more green space than your dog could ever dream of. We have sports fields, baseball, soccer, and room to burn off that post-brunch energy. Much like the other neighborhoods we've covered, that Fairfield is going to be zoned to Cypher ISD with several schools right here inside the neighborhood. So if you're looking for a family-friendly community with space, amenities, and that classic Cypress charm, Fairfield definitely deserves a spot on your list. All right, let's talk about Coles Crossing, the neighborhood where you can get resort-style amenities without having to sell a kidney to afford it. Now, this beautiful 2,000-acre master plan community features around 2,600 homes nestled among mature trees. We have winding trails and just enough nature to make you really feel like you're in a state park, which is really nice and comforting, actually, without sacrificing your Amazon delivery speed. Let's be real. Now, without having to sell a kidney, let's talk about that. The average home here is going to run you around $556,000 with a solid $175 per square foot on average, and you'll enjoy a low-ish tax rate coming in at 2.19%, and the HOA dues are going to come in roughly around $1,000 a year, which honestly feels like a bargain once you see what's included in the amenities in this neighborhood. Coles Crossing is actually stacked with amenities. We have a resort style pool with a separate lap pool. So whether you're into racing or relaxing, they've got you covered here for sure. There's a 3,000 square foot fitness center around the corner from where I'm at right now with all the equipment that you need, and some of you will pretend that you know how to use it. Let's be real, a lot of it you won't even know what it is. We also have 7 lighted tennis courts, so I'm at the tennis court section now. 7, yes, you read that right, 7 tennis courts. You'll never have to wait to get served. Tons of parks, tons of playgrounds, trails, and a lot of scenic ponds around here. Perfect for walks, runs, or just spying on ducks, which is kind of cool. And we have a full calendar of community events here in this neighborhood, which is pretty cool, from holiday parties to live concerts. So you're never really bored unless you just actually choose to be bored. And being in Coles Crossing, we are still zoned to Cypher ISD with schools right here inside the neighborhood. And that means shorter commutes, more sleep, and happier mornings for everyone involved. Now, if you're looking for a tight-knit community with upscale amenities and a laid-back kind of vibe, Coles Crossing might be the perfect fit for you. right, welcome to Cypress Creek Lakes, where the phrase "just add water" isn't about cooking. It's all about your lifestyle. Spanning around 1,600 acres, this master planned community is home to approximately 2,100 residences, all thoughtfully integrated with nature's finest water features. With over 100 acres of scenic trails like the one you see behind me, we have fountains and manicured green spaces all over. You'll find serenity just steps from your front door. But let's talk about the amenities here in this neighborhood as well. So we have recreation centers, 3 of them featuring pools, including beach entry and competition style pools. We have splash pads, we have fitness rooms, we have playgrounds. We also have trails, more than 14 miles of walking and biking and hiking paths meandering through the community. And we also have community events here, regularly scheduled gatherings that bring neighbors together for a lot of fun and fellowship. And homes here on average are around the $600,000 to $601,000 range, with a tax rate of 2.69% and the annual HOA dues coming in at $1,155. So if you're seeking a community where nature's beauty meets modern amenities, Cypress Creek Lakes might be your perfect match and definitely should be on your list of contenders. All right, guys, now let's talk about the villages of Cypress Lakes, where affordability and golf course views go hand in hand. Yes, you can brag about both. Now, this community spans about 850 acres, so it's a little bit smaller than what we've covered so far, and it has around 2,600 homes, making it one of the more established neighborhoods here in Cypress. And with home prices averaging around $447,000 and a low $146 per square foot, you're getting serious bang for your buck here. The tax rate is an attractive 2.6%, and the HOA dues are even more attractive, coming in at $350 annually, which is practically a rounding error compared to some other Cypress neighborhoods that we've already talked about. Now, on to the good stuff, because there's plenty here. We have a golf course that runs right through the neighborhood, so if you've ever wanted to play 18 before lunchtime, you're in luck. We also have multiple community lakes, scenic walking trails like you can see behind me, perfect for sunset, stroller walks, or deep conversations with your dog. There's also a neighborhood pool. We have a splash pad so you can beat that Texas heat without having to fight crowds at a public pool. There's also playgrounds and green space scattered throughout the neighborhood so your kids and your pets can burn off that energy while you supervise with a lawn chair and an iced tea, or maybe even a nice cold brew. So if you're looking for a solid Cypress neighborhood that won't break the bank but still gives you that clean, master planned community feel with a golf course, this one deserves a serious look. All right, guys, last but not least, we are in Canyon Lakes West, not to be confused with the actual Canyon Lakes of Texas. But so welcome to Canyon Lakes West, where the phrase home sweet home comes with the side of resort style amenities and a dash of suburban charm. Now, this neighborhood spans across 1,800 acres. It's a master planned community with approximately 6,000 homes, and it's a vibrant neighborhood that offers a blend of comfort and convenience. Homes here on average are going to be $432,000 with a price per square foot of around $155, depending on what section you're going to be in. And the tax rate here is around 2.68%, and the annual HOA dues are $1,090, depending on the section that you live, of course. Now, there are also several gated and controlled access sections of this community, like you can see behind me, for that extra layer of security and peace of mind. But let's talk amenities, because Canyon Lakes just doesn't skip out, right? So we have recreation centers, multiple centers for featuring pools, including beach entry and competition style pools. We have splash pads, fitness rooms, and playgrounds. Tons of trails, about 14 miles of trails of walking and biking paths, meandering through the community as well. And then there's a ton of community events here as well, regularly scheduled gatherings that do bring the neighbors together for a lot of fun and fellowship. Very similar construct to some of the neighborhoods we've already covered. However, if moving to Cypress is in your future, this community should absolutely be on your list of contenders. All right, guys, that is gonna wrap up our Cypress, Texas full vlog tour for the day. If you plan on moving to Cypress, make sure you give us a call. You don't wanna move into the wrong area. This area is absolutely enormous, and so is Houston. You don't wanna have to move twice, so make sure you give us a call to get the best deal at the best price with the best possible terms. If you want more content on Cypress, Texas, make sure you go to my Living in Cypress, Texas playlist, and you'll be able to see all the different neighborhoods we go into super depth on. We'll visit tons of new construction. And then, of course, if you want to explore other areas other than Cypress, Texas, then we have a ton. Like, we cover the entire greater Houston area for real. So you will not fall short of any sort of content that you're looking for with our channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, tap the bell icon, so you can be the first to stay up to date with the current market here in Houston, Texas. And I will see you guys in the next video.